Though Kevin Costner's work in westerns is beloved, many of his best films were actually made in other genres. Thanks to movies like Dances with Wolves and shows like Yellowstone, Costner has cemented his legacy as a modern-day western icon, but he has never been shoehorned into one genre exclusively. From his earliest days as an actor at the beginning of the 80s, Costner clearly had presence on screen, and it didn't take long for him to land leading roles. A stretch of hits starting in 1985 launched Costner into the A-list, and he was soon one of the biggest names in Hollywood. Despite a wealth of films in various genres, Costner has since become associated with westerns, and they have defined his career. Alongside his sports movies, Costner's accolades in westerns are numerous, but that only captures a small portion of his career. His greatest triumphs actually came elsewhere. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a silly and bombastic movie, and it's one of the most fun films in Kevin Costner's extensive career. Costner stars as the iconic folk hero, taking on the dastardly sheriff of Nottingham along with his merry band of thieves. The movie doesn't take itself too seriously, which is appropriate for its fairytale-like story. The movie split critics but was a massive financial success, and continued Costner's unbeatable streak. It falls short of the actor's more dramatic performances, but it can't be denied as a stellar popcorn flick. Costner made plenty of better movies, but few are as rewatchable as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. The Company Men, 2010. As befitting a movie star of his stature, Kevin Costner doesn't have a lot of hidden gems in his filmography. However, The Company Men could certainly be called underrated, and it explores the lives of several men recently laid off from their high-paying positions. Costner plays a major supporting role, and gives a lot of ground to his co-stars. The Company Men is an unflinchingly real drama that sincerely attempts to capture the mood of the recent recession. It's a hopeful story overall, and the sort of unambitious drama that's increasingly rare. Costner and his co-stars give stellar performances, but the movie's obscurity knocks it down a peg in the actor's filmography. No Way Out, 1987. Riding a wave of success in the late 1980s, Kevin Costner co-starred in the wildly underrated thriller, No Way Out. Acting alongside the likes of Sean Young and Gene Hackman, Costner plays a Navy officer who becomes embroiled in a murder investigation. Naturally, the plot thickens and it has global implications. No Way Out is a taut thrill ride with a heaping helping of twists and turns. It captures the late-stage Cold War paranoia of the 80s, and takes advantage of Costner's burgeoning star power. The exaggerated details of its plot do go overboard a bit, which keeps it from being an all-time classic. Nevertheless, it's one of Costner's best movies. Tin Cup, 1996. Kevin Costner has made an impact on the sports film genre, and Tin Cup is his addition to the legacy of golf movies. The rom-com sees Costner play an ex-pro golfer who decides to get back into the game after years away. Smoothly blending sports and romance, Tin Cup never strays too far in either direction. The best part of Tin Cup is just how undeniably likable it is, and that can be chalked up to the performances of Costner and Rene Russo. It's a beloved fixture in the golf community, and continues Costner's streak of amazing sports flicks. Unfortunately, its legacy is still much smaller than some of the actor's other hits. 13 Days, 2000. Kevin Costner is no stranger to starring in historical films, but 13 Days is usually overlooked in favor of bigger hits. The movie concerns the tense 13-day stretch of the Cuban Missile Crisis, following President Kennedy and his staff during that trying time. Costner leads as presidential assistant, Kenneth O'Donnell. David Self's screenplay is really what makes 13 Days such a compelling movie, and the film crackles with life despite having no action to speak of. It communicates the danger and tension of the moment effectively, while allowing Costner and his co-stars to give strong performances. It's a perfect movie for history buffs, but may turn off some viewers. JFK, 1991. Oliver Stone's epic political thriller, JFK, is one of the defining movies of early 1990s cinema. Costner stars as District Attorney Jim Garrison, who falls headlong into conspiracy thought behind the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Costner leads an ensemble cast, and it's some of his best work overall. Despite its epic length, the movie succinctly sums up many of its more complex plot points, and makes a compelling case overall. Stone has never strayed from controversy, and the film unabashedly embraces its most divisive elements. JFK is a terrific movie, but it's not one that's easily revisited because of its long running time. A Perfect World, 1993. Clint Eastwood's films are known for their emotional intelligence and rich themes, and A Perfect World checks both of those boxes. Costner plays an escaped prisoner who kidnaps a young boy and travels across the Southwest with an honorable cop on his heels. Though Eastwood and Costner reportedly clashed, the finished product shines. It's a bit of a role reversal for Costner, who usually plays squeaky clean heroes in most of his movies. Though Butch Haynes is not a villain, he's more complicated than Costner's typical parts. The movie was a smash hit, though it is often overlooked. A Perfect World is Costner at his best, and well worth remembering. Bull Durham, 1988. Kevin Costner and baseball are a perfect combo, and never was that more clear than in Bull Durham. Costner plays a veteran catcher on a minor league baseball team who takes a struggling young pitcher under his wing. Bull Durham is a love letter to baseball, but it's also a brilliant romance story. Costner and Susan Sarandon are a perfect duo, and their fun and flirty relationship is a highlight of 80s cinema. There were a lot of baseball movies released around Bull Durham, but few could match its overall quality as a film. If it wasn't for a few other gems, it would be Costner's best non-Western film. The Untouchables, 1987. Kevin Costner's meteoric rise was due to a string of hits, but The Untouchables strapped a few extra rockets to his ship. The Brian De Palma smash taps Costner to play Elliot Ness, a federal lawman determined to bring down gangsters during Prohibition. Its exaggerated tone helps it stand out from other gangster flicks. The Untouchables doesn't glorify crime like many of its contemporaries, and takes a decidedly less cynical view of justice in general. Costner is perfect as the cool and collected Ness, and the movie's abundant action keeps things from ever growing stale. Though there are better gangster movies, it's a quintessential Costner classic. Field of Dreams, 1989. A year after making one amazing baseball movie, Kevin Costner did it again with Field of Dreams. He plays a farmer who is suddenly compelled to build a baseball diamond on his property so that the ghosts of legends can play once again. Nostalgia is the operative word, and Field of Dreams captures the spirit of the game.